but also I don't think those new players will stick around for long because as
No, they're
soon as
not. They're not gonna. Dude, you try to do freaking like just.
yeah,
Could you
because of
imagine
the
just trying to do Gate 1? Like, you remember Gate 1 Clown Prog first week?
yeah.
Can you imagine a
I
new
mean,
player
Gate
trying to do
One wasn't
Gate
too
1
bad.
Clown Prog? They got a freaking gauge underneath their character. Every time they hit something, they lose 3/4 of their health bar. They turn into a clown that they can't spacebar when they get knocked into the air for. People are pinging and shit. No one's communicating. And then on top of that, the clown character, they spazzes around the room every half a second, and you can barely hit him. And that's Gate 1.
Yeah. Well, hello and welcome to the first and maybe only episode of Loot First and Ask Questions Later. This was a spur of the moment kind of thing, but this is basically just going to be like nothing too serious. This is kind of like a general talking format. It's generally just going to more along the lines just going to be me, Initiativ, and Jamaican, my buddy here,
Hello.
just just talking about stuff, and whatever comes to mind comes to mind.
We got
Hopefully, it's
gaming
not too cringy.
news. We got D&D.
Yeah,
We got what else? You can do movies
yeah,
if you
just
want.
pretty much whatever. Just pretty much whatever we
Whatever we
want to
feel
talk about.
like. Whatever bullshit happens to float our way.
Yeah, just whatever we feel like talking about.
Yeah. All right. I honestly thought that was gonna go a lot worse than it did. I am very proud of you, Mr. Initiative Sir,
Thank you
because
very
I would
much.
have
I
botched the
thought
living
about that for
bejesus out
about
of
5 minutes.
that.
I thought about that for about 5 minutes.
5 minutes? We've been sitting here for like 2 hours trying to work out how to start this
Yeah.
off, but like
Yeah.
no, we gotta get it done, man. We gotta get it done. So how have you been
Yeah.
today?
Yeah. I've been alright. How have you been?
I made some soup for dinner. I made some fishbowl and chicken soup, and it wasn't a complete fail, so that's a win in my book.
Very nice.
Did
Yeah.
did, did you have the El Clasico Initiative pizza for dinner today, or are we
No, that's going to be Saturday. Most likely.
Saturday?
Actually, no. I think we're doing that Sunday night. Yeah. No,
Well,
I just had tomato soup for dinner.
right. Well, now that's out of the way. We finally started. It took us what 4 hours to come up with a name for the podcast, and then
Yeah.
we tried to
That
start it
was
yesterday, and your PC, or no, your internet was just like, hold up, wait a minute. You sure about that?
that is very true.
And then
Yeah,
today we're
we were going
sitting
to start
here.
recording, and it
Yeah.
went down. It was
Literally 5 minutes
was
before we're about to start. It's like, Initiative, are you there? Nope, nope. He's not in the Discord anymore. So it was like we took it as a sign. Maybe we should sleep on it and try again a different day. So hopefully, fingers crossed, everything goes
everything works well.
okay. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to edit some stuff later on.
I mean, you have to edit shit anyway, most likely.
True. But yeah, no. It's I mean like we've been talking about this for ages because the amount of times we've been sitting here doing like monotonous dailies and shit in video games while just talking shit. Like I was just like, dude, we gotta record this and put this out to the world. I don't know why, but
Yeah,
I feel like it would
yeah.
be a lot of fun.
It's been a long time coming for us
Yeah.
to do something like this.
So I mean, hopefully, it's not the last. Hopefully, but
That would be nice if we could actually do more.
but I mean like this and D&D like alternating each week would be the dream. Like because
This will actually give us an idea for how long we've actually been going for D&D as well. Like if D&D sticks around, because we started, they're both on week 1.
yep.
But like if we do
So
multiple episodes,
Saturday we started. Because today is well, it's almost Friday now for me, but it's technically Thursday. So last Saturday we started a D&D campaign, and Mr.
being
Initiative here.
DM'd by yours truly, Initiative.
Yes, the DM, the Mr. Dungeon Master or whatever himself.
It's my first time DMing, so
first time DMing. I mean, it's the first time for pretty much everybody in the group, except
apart
for
from
Y. So
Yeah.
it's me, White Knight, Y, and Squeezel and Ghosty as the, I don't know, victims, I guess, or participants, or
Yeah.
with initiative DMing. And
Yeah, my test subjects.
we went for like what, 6 hours on Saturday?
It was just shy of 4.5 hours.
Is that including like the breaks or not including the breaks?
I think that was including the break.
So we started at 6:30 and it was like three in the morning.
No, I think it was about 3 in the morning for Ghosty when we finished. It was about 1 for us.
Yeah. I mean, how did you find the experience?
I mean, more or less, I think it went pretty okay. I mean, I was incredibly nervous before
I
it
mean,
happened,
you're
but
incredibly
like,
nervous now, so like, what's new? Like,
yeah, that is true. But also, it's one of those things where, like, once you start, it just kind of flows
yeah.
from there.
I
It
mean,
was actually getting the starting going.
honestly, as a participant and an observer of it, like you were hella nervous for like the first 10 minutes, and then we basically just didn't notice it for the rest of the night. So I think it was like a really positive experience. Everybody had a good time. I mean, I don't know what you have in store for next session, but apparently there's
I've
gonna be
been
there's a couple of
looking at some.
adventures planned.
Yeah, I've got at least the first maybe 2 or 3 sessions roughly outlined, depending on what people do. I mean, that could entirely change depending on how things line up and what people inevitably do. I'm
I mean,
worried
how
about
much
Ghosty
of
and
the
White.
first session played out like to your plan?
About 50%.
About 50%. Oh shit,
Yeah.
that was pretty
Yeah.
smooth for 50%. Not gonna lie. So,
I'll be honest, that fucking last 2 hour, like, last hour and a half was completely improv,
was
and
it, dude?
yeah.
So like we didn't have like a map as such. So was it what were you using? Paint?
It was just Microsoft Paint.
Yeah,
Uh,
he whipped up a map. We entered a combat situation with some goblinos, and he pulled up a map with like mouse drawn buildings and shit, just fully
yeah,
improvised. No layers whatsoever. So he's like drawing and he's basically got like a whiteboard marker in front of us trying to explain where we are.
yeah,
But
that
somehow
was
it
that
worked
was
out, man. That was still somehow super immersive. And then obviously you've got like pre-made maps to potentially use for our next sessions now with your fancy
yeah.
program that you were showing me.
Yeah, hopefully I get to use those maps and people actually follow the story I have somewhat prepared. Because I mean, you could if like I could say go this way and you can go the other way. That would
Sure.
be that would be a thing, which is what I'm kind of expecting, honestly.
I mean, like we sort of kind of ended up where you wanted us to in a way. So
More or less, yeah.
no, it was good. It was good. I think um I think we had to get all the nerves out the way first because people were like unfamiliar because we're using like was it D&D Beyond?
Yeah, we use
So like people are like unfamiliar with how the buttons
the
and
website
stuff
works
and
and
how
yeah.
the site works. But I think we adjusted relatively quickly. Like there was no real
Yeah,
major issues.
I
It
mean,
was
it's a fairly simple site
yeah, we didn't
to
have any
use.
tech support issues or anything like that. It's kind of just like spent like 10 seconds looking for something and then like the combat was pretty pretty clean to be honest. But
Yeah, it
did you
went
want to
fairly
maybe
smoothly.
give a brief summary of what happened?
Okay, so more or less, it was just like an introductory, like introductory first session where the characters meet up in like a city, and then it basically was just like an introductory episode. Nothing really too much happened. It was just uh, there was a I'm blanking now.
Did
Damn
you
it.
write this down yesterday?
I did, but I'm blanking. It's like I'm being put on the spot.
Dude. I was
But
telling him
yeah,
before, it's like we're doing some extroverted stuff, and we're two relatively introverted individuals, so it's gonna be a fun experience trying to get used to this. Like I'm up for the challenge, but it's just gonna be super fun trying to get a little speed bumps.
yeah,
But yeah,
this is a new experience for both of us.
yeah, I believe. I believe. Drop the
But yeah,
summary, sir. You got this. Believe.
so yeah, basically, like the opening scene was Ghosty, our rogue, who goes by his character's name is Shadow. I mean, it's a very original rogue name.
True.
Yeah, basically it started out with him like tracking his target, like tracking a target he's going after that he needs that is uh, that is his contract that he needs to take out essentially. So basically that doesn't go to plan as usual, and the target runs. So the ghosty needs to chase after them, and the other characters just like the other people in the town square or the market square, as this was, basically just watch what happens.
Watch what we didn't
And
see.
yeah, and it was it was funny. Like everyone else watches, I think Quiet Knight, who is the ranger, as the ghostie's target is running in her direction, it pulls the crossbow out on him, and which was absolutely hilarious to everyone else at the table. But she is not the type of person to cause any kind of uh, conflict or
Just to
anything.
give some context, she's a very quiet and reserved individual. She went from, yeah, I just let him go through to I pull a crossbow on him and tell him, yo, what you doing? So it was a complete
Yeah, it was
180. Just
it was absolutely hilarious. And yeah, basically, that was what's the word? Under control fairly quickly. Like a crowd gathered. She let him go. Ghosty, being the rogue, slipped into the crowd and stabbed her, and ended
had
up
some
doing what a
Giga
rogue
Chad
does.
dice rolls and managed to
Put
assassinate
a
his target without anyone noticing in
Yeah,
broad
he put
daylight in
his
the middle
dagger
of the
in.
street.
Yep, he put his dagger into his target's neck and Assassin's Creed his way out.
Yep,
Assassin's Creed his way out of there.
somehow.
Yeah, I mean, when you roll well and
Yeah,
you
dude,
have
he was
a
rolling like
wait,
20 pluses like the whole night.
yeah, especially when you're level 1 and have a +9 to stealth.
Yeah, that's
That's
kind of disgusting.
yeah.
And then the
But
rest
yeah,
of it was what? Characters kind of gathering up in the end.
yeah, most of the other characters after that, like after they saw that all go down, they all like went back to the inn. Like not so much back to the inn, but they did like their daily routine stuff and then like convene at the inn at night time. But then
That was kind of like
so
phase two of the story.
yeah, and then like after the guards disposed of the body, and there was Jamaican being the
Oh yeah, yeah,
loot
yeah,
gnome he
yeah.
is,
Living up to the podcast
went
name.
yeah,
I went
being the loot
immediately
gnome
to
he is.
loot the moment they disposed of the body.
Yep, and realizing that the body was being moved, Ghosty followed, and Jamaican, like I said, being the loot goblin, he went to loot the body and found that the person that was killed was the person he was looking for in town.
Some lore.
Yeah, which and if you realize that because of the necklace on the character on the person that died, which is the that necklace that Jamaican found was is the proof that Ghosty needs uh for his contract to say that he actually completed
So
the
already
thing.
early on, initiatives like crafted some sort of like crossover between our characters. You know, 'Cause
Yeah, I needed a way for them to meet somehow, and that was what I came up with, and more or less came up with.
Everybody
And
met
from
up,
there,
introduced each other to themselves, except for Ghosty, who was out hunting rats in the forest or something.
yeah, after a brief exchange between Ghosty and Jamaican here, and a really well rolled intimidation check,
Yep,
surprisingly,
yep.
was able to intimidate Jamaican into giving him the necklace,
First and
which
last time
was
that's going to happen. First and last time, boys.
yep. So, yeah, after that it was like uh, after Ghosty got his trophy as it was. He then went off into the forest and set up his camp for the night. And then Jamaican
I
went back
went
to
to
the
the
tavern.
pub and got a lot of food because I was generously donated a gold coin.
Yes, that's right. Ghosty
So
gave a gold coin for the trophy,
I
and
ordered
Jamaican lit
the
that up very
medieval
well.
equivalent of a KFC family feast and had a 1.25 liter jug of alcohol instead of Mountain Dew. And I proceeded to get shit faced.
Yeah, so that was where we took our. That's roughly where we took the break,
No, 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 that's not where we took a
was
break,
it?
dude. No, we had the Goblinos. We had the
No,
Goblinos.
no, but there was a break before the goblins.
Oh,
Like
yeah,
people would
that
go
was because
further.
of the Elmo incident. So, like,
That's right, the fucking elbow thing. Yeah, right.
there
The
was
the
we
break
had
was kind of
we had a Discord chat with memes while we were immersed in the world, and there was a couple of synchronized memes being sent that made everybody else laugh
everyone.
hysterically for over 10 minutes. I dare say.
Yeah, it was
Like
so
my jaw was
hyper
hurting. It was bad, and I wasn't the one that
But
was
yeah,
like laughing the most out of everyone. So like, there were some people that were literally crying. So we had to take a break.
yeah, yeah. That was after like everyone convened back in the tavern, and like people started talking about like the murder during the day. And uh, actually, Jamaican, can you describe what happened in the tavern to make people uh start losing it laughing?
I mean, I have to give them context of my character. So, like, my character is a gnome, like, he's a barbarian gnome, but he's mute. And the only way my character can communicate is either like hand gestures and pointing, or these two axolotls that I have. And one of the axolotls is like, a smart axolotl, and the other axolotl is a dumbass. Like, there's no other way to describe it. And I did some voice acting for the flavor, and there was some jokes and some analogies being made, and basically my character was like a little kid who had his little sippy cup, except mine had alcohol in it instead of juice. And I was explaining to the group that I kind of feel like Elmo sitting on the toilet seat having a little poop, just being happy with his little legs waving across, and like two other people and myself sent like the Elmo GIF meme in the Discord chat
At the exact same time,
at
and
the literal
people just
exact
lost
same
it.
time, and everybody just lost it. Like they were just laughing hysterically for like more than 10 minutes, and like people were like crying literally from just laughing so much. So we had to take a break and then come back. we tried to come back. It derailed it so hard. Like we tried to come back like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah,
But then we
oh, that
got
was so
there,
good.
and like that shit was super cool because like that was where all of our characters were kind of like intermingling with each other and introducing, like,
Apart from Ghosty, and we're about to
apart from
get there.
Ghosty, which what happens with him next. You know
Which we were all hoping he would fail his roles on,
yeah, yeah. So
but
he
he
tried to climb
succeeded,
a
sadly.
tree. He tried to climb a tree, and he had to
Yeah,
roll a check for the tree climbing, and he succeeded. And then he decided he wanted to climb back down again. And so he did another roll, and we were all hoping that he'd stack it and like dislocate his ankle or something like that. Trying to climb down from the tree, but it didn't happen.
but Ghosty being the rogue with high dex,
Yeah,
and
like I think he rolled 20s for both, like 20 plus
he
for
did,
both.
he did. I was kind of upset about that.
So
I mean,
that
most of us were upset about that.
that kind of set in motion the next series of events, which I think would probably be like the main event of the first session.
Yeah, as Ghosty was up that tree, he saw a group of goblins walking towards the town with weapons and torches. So yeah, and then Ghosty jumps down the tree successfully, sadly enough, but then runs into town to ring the town bell to alert everyone that there is a threat coming to the town. So uh, he gets there. He gets there in time. Like meanwhile, everyone's in the tavern, absolutely losing their shit laughing.
Yeah,
And then town bell rings, alerting the town to a threat, and everyone goes outside the tavern.
and that's like our first
Mm,
taste of combat in the campaign.
yeah, pretty much. And it went.
No one died.
I mean,
It was pretty lit.
it got close to. I think Ghosty was the
Ghosty was
closest
on
one
like
to
three
dying.
health or something like that.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I think there was like how many? There was like six goblins and then a big boy goblin.
yeah. There was.
And Ghosty killed like
Yeah,
four of the regular goblins. White Knight killed one of the regular goblins and shot the big boy in the face.
yeah, that was.
And then I think Y and Squeezel kind of killed the last one.
Yeah, I think so.
I basically did jack shit. I missed everything except for one hit on the big boy, and it hurt him good, but that was it. And he ran like a bitch from me and tried to kill Y.
I mean, why would the goblin boss try to keep hitting
There
you?
was
That
one
would be
turn where
suspicious.
like there was a goblin that tried to stab me and a goblin that tried to shoot me with a bow, and then the big boy tried to hit me twice. And I'm just like, yep, I'm a face tank all that shit.
Yeah, that was that was a thing. But yeah, it was. I think everyone had fun with the combat.
Oh, it was good, man. It was good.
I probably could have made it like added an extra goblin or two, but I think it was like I think it was fairly balanced for a first combat session.
I mean, I
Like it
felt
wasn't,
like I wasn't hitting a lot, but it was our first battle, so maybe I just had like squeezle rolls, I guess. But like,
but it is also level one combat as
I
well.
mean,
So
true, but I
yeah.
should be like one-shotting everything at level 1 already. So
I mean, if you actually, I mean, if you hit, yeah, you'd be doing a good job of damage.
no, even if I don't hit, I should still one-shot it just with pure girth alone. Like, you know what I mean?
Oh, okay. But yeah,
No, it was good.
like after the combat, sadly, sadly, Jamaican did not get to eat the jerky stand that was
Yeah,
left out
so
overnight
there was
in
this
the.
goblin that was trying to set fire to a jerky, like a jerky stand in like the market, like because like the fight kind of happened in like in the market sort of area, like of the town. But we managed to save the jerky stand. But I was intending to save the jerky stand because the goblin was trying to set it on fire, and I wanted to like save it so I could loot it after the battle or during the battle even. But
Yeah,
we
but
couldn't loot anything, man. Like,
yeah, sadly the guards got there and ushered you back into the inn, so you weren't able to loot the jerky stand.
yeah, disappointed. But we saved the jerky stand, so yeah,
Yes,
might get some discounts, like some coupons. But yeah, no, it
maybe.
was good. I mean, like it wasn't crazy, but it kind of we kind of got a whole bunch of the world setting and all that. It was like considering we didn't have that many resources. Like I know you're adding like sound effects for the Discord for like next time, so
Yeah,
like, but it was super immersive, and we didn't have any like I don't know. Everything kind of just felt like it gelled together pretty well. Like everyone is kind of like on the same page. No one's intentionally trying to derail, and if
yeah,
it is derailed, it's like an entire group effort. It's not just like you know but it doesn't take away from the experience. So it was a really good time.
yeah,
So
definitely.
I'm just looking forward to the bullshit that's gonna happen next time. Whatever you're cooking up, sir.
Yeah, like I gave a hint um through one of their checks of what potentially could be happening next session. Uh,
I think
like
Ghosty
when they went
didn't
to.
wait. What? There's a hint.
Yeah, that was hilarious. Like everyone else picked up on the hint I gave.
Uh,
Like, yeah, typical Ghosty. say a landmine himself.
I don't know, man. Like it worked really well. I'm just hoping that we get to the point where our builds actually become like showcaseable. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that would be good. Like, I'm not
But
gonna make it that you need to min max a character. I'm just gonna
no,
make
no,
it
no. I
that
just want to get to the point where I can just go in and just like base tank literally everything like a Giga Chad and not give a shit. You know what I mean? Because that's what I was born to do.
yeah, fair enough.
I do it for pretty much every other game that I play. Like I am meat shield first, potentially damage, dual wielding damage dealer second. Alright.
Yeah, like also, it was kind of railroaded a little bit because it was the first session. I
Oh
want
yeah, sure.
because
I didn't feel
like
that.
I mean, well, that's good. But
Yeah,
yeah,
that was.
like
I think that was
I
the best
want
part about it. Everything felt like super organic about the set.
because I wanted like I actually wanted the group to actually get together instead of like
Oh
just
yeah,
leaving the town and going opposite directions. Like I needed to like push them push them into a certain area.
yeah. But
But
even
yeah,
how it happened,
otherwise,
like how it happened was, it felt very. It didn't feel forced. You know, like it just felt like
yeah,
either like logical, like the series of events would happen, or like you know, it felt organic.
yeah,
So I think you did like a pretty good job considering you had like zero experience DM going into this, and all of us pretty much had zero experience going into this as well. So you know, we didn't really
yeah.
know
And
what we were doing and what we were expecting. So I'm just hoping like the next
yeah, I'm
sessions
glad.
are the same or better. You know.
Yeah, and I'm glad everyone enjoyed it. Like the way the D&D campaign came about is I was streaming. I was Tiny Tina, wasn't it? Yeah,
Was it Tiny
streaming
Tina or
Tiny Tina.
Celesta?
No, I was streaming Tiny Tina with Jamaican, and I was just like everyone was in, like most people were in the
Yeah, we
chat,
just threw it out
and I
there,
was yeah, I just threw it out there. I was like, who would be interested in a D&D campaign?
and I was just like, hell
And
yeah, I'm in. Sign it up.
and I was,
And then we just
yeah,
proceeded
that
to
was
ask every single person that came in. Just like, so if we
yep,
were to hypothetically start
start a
a D and
D&D
D
campaign.
session, would you be down? And
Would
everyone
you?
was like, bruh, bruh.
Yep.
It was
And
like what?
surprisingly,
It was a
everyone said
2 week
yes.
period. Yeah, it was a 2 week period. But
Yeah, it was only like a 2 week, yeah,
like,
about
you
2 week
literally
period. It was
suggested
like
it, and then
2 weeks later, we're
two
like,
weeks
let's do it.
later, we're like trying to organize everything for it. We got the Discord and everything. We got our character sheets, and then like the week after that, we start the sesh.
Yeah, it, it went from just a throwaway line of me seeing like if people were interested to actually doing it.
That's kind of like the same with the podcast. Eh?
Yes, that too.
Like the podcast is literally it's like initiative. We spent too much time just sitting here talking about random shit, and like the amount of times I tell the missus like, oh yeah, we were just talking about this for like 3 hours, and then the sun came up, and the entire time we were just like laughing and having a good time. It's just like, what would happen if we just recorded some of the tomfoolery that would happen? It's like I needed an excuse to like do my dailies in Lost Ark, but like because you switch your brain off to do it, you can just. I'm doing them right now, like while we're doing that, while we're
Yeah,
doing this.
yeah.
So
I,
like
I I can hear the occasional mouse click
occasional, I'm
from it.
spamming buttons, bro. Like, what are you on about?
Yeah, I think it's good. It's only when you're talking like the occasional
Yeah,
mouse
yeah,
click will come
yeah.
through. I
No,
don't
it
mind.
gets filtered out. It gets filtered out when I'm not talking because of video broadcast. But yeah, no, I was just like, why don't we do this? You know, what could possibly go wrong?
You get cancelled.
Ah! I don't even think that's the case. Like, I'm not really too
Yeah.
stressed out about that.
But yeah, that was D&D last Saturday.
Yeah, it was a good time. So yeah, we're looking forward to. It's not this Saturday coming out. The Saturday after is the next session.
Yeah, that is on the 7th. No, on the 8th.
Yeah. So probably we're gonna try and do it a little bit earlier this time, and I don't know why I'm
Yeah,
saying this because we're not even recording sessions; we're just doing them. So
yeah.
the
Like,
first time was really fun, and that's without any of us really knowing what to do. So I think it's only up from here, to be honest.
and the main reason, like, I wanted to do the D&D and eventually, like, how the podcast came around is that we wanted to do things that weren't, like, affiliated with gaming
Yeah,
particularly. Like, we needed something different than just
just something
playing,
that's
like,
not just pushing buttons and watching numbers go up.
yeah, pretty much. And it gives us a bit of an escape from,
Yeah,
like,
yeah. There's so much
the
bullshit
daily
out
grind.
there. Not just that, but like just like I don't know, like all the like I don't there's this like cloud of negativity hanging over a lot of the stuff right now. Like obviously like real life issues and stuff like that, but like just in general, like with a lot of the
Yeah.
games that we enjoy playing, there's always like some sort of drama going on. It's kind of just like I just
Yeah,
want to be able to
it's
switch
getting
off from that and just screw around and just have fun.
yeah, it's just getting a bit much. So, it's this is a good way for us to just
Yeah, it's a
not so much
it's
event, but just, like, chat, hang around, and
it's
just
not
talk
even
about
really
whatever.
venting. It's just like doing like an experience that's like positive,
Yeah,
you know, like that PMA.
yeah.
Because I don't know, like the amount of times I've just been sitting here and I swear to God, like initiatives watch me do like spend more time probably watching me do dailies in Discord than actually doing anything else. Especially the last week. Like
Yeah, yeah,
so, it's
because
just like
the dailies Jamaican is talking about is the daily chaos dungeons in Lost Ark.
it's basically
Kind of
like Diablo farming, except it looks flashier and it's less dark and morbid.
yeah, pretty much.
But yeah,
But yeah,
it's a
there's a
very turn your brain off sort of activity, and there's a lot of drama being going on about that recently as well. So
yeah, like with the original version of the game, the Korean version, there's just a whole bunch of drama about that. Although the Western version's actually
no, the
still
Western version we
pretty
eating
good.
good. We eating good. At least for 3 months, we eating good.
Yeah, but yeah, like all the because most of the streamers are on the KR version, so that kind of gets filtered down through all the community, and it
Hmm.
just
Because people are
gets a bit
parrots
much
and
at
can't
times.
think for themselves.
Yeah,
But
pretty much.
that's like that's pretty much the D and D recap. We bought a bunch of goblins. Nothing too crazy. We experienced the combat. We experienced the Microsoft Paint combat system, which is
Yep.
uh, it worked. But
Surprisingly, the
yeah,
Microsoft
I
Paint
mean
works.
surprisingly it worked. But there's definitely improvements that can be made on that front,
Oh yeah,
and
definitely,
which I
definitely.
already know we're going to improve on next time. So that's, but yeah,
Yeah,
pretty much a D&D recap, right?
yeah, pretty much. Like nothing too much else happened. Like just
We could go into
people.
detail of what everybody is, but that's about it. Right?
So yeah, I'll just give a brief overview on like what the players are. Why have you done this? Is a lizard folk wizard
Named
who
Harry.
named Harry. Harry Hazard. Then we've got what is it? We've got Ghosty, who is a shifling, is it shifling or
Shift.
shapeshifter rogue,
He's a shifter. Shifter rogue.
shifter rogue, who his name is Shadow. His character's name is Shadow. Then we've got Quiet Knight, who is a it's a bit of a weird one. We've got she's using the Tabaxi um, race stapler, but she's making her making it look like a what is it
Five
kitsune
tail.
or fox
Five
person.
tail. Is a five tail fox?
Yeah, five-tailed fox. Um,
That is
she
bright
is a
purple pink.
ranger. Yeah, she's a ranger with a pet horse, and her name is Galena.
Her name's Galena. I don't remember what the horse. I just call the horse the horse. I mean, she forgot about the horse. Like, so like, ain't no way I'm gonna remember it.
Yeah, And then we have Squeezel's character, which is a wood elf cleric whose name is I'm blanking on the name.
Mia something.
Yeah, Mia. It's like Mia Lee, but we just call her Mia. Yeah, she's a life cleric, wood elf life cleric.
My
And then we've got
character is Kevin. His name is Kevin,
yep,
and he's a gnome barbarian that is mute with talking axolotls that hides in his beard,
yep.
and he uses
Oh
a
my
great
god,
sword. That's pretty much it.
I,
Oh, yeah, he cooks
I
food, but I haven't
lost my
cooked food
shit.
yet. I haven't been able to cook food yet.
I lost my shit when you came up with that character.
Dude,
That was
that
so good.
character was like a 20-minute improv sesh, like in the like basically at midnight with zero or like I was talking about it with the missus in the car park as a joke, and then it kind of like it was fleshed out enough to not be a joke and actually work, and somehow it worked. So
Yeah, surprisingly.
I mean, we got
Yeah,
like
but
pretty much everything covered. We got range, backstab, front line, spells and shit, healing.
yeah, it seems it's like
It
a
surprisingly
well
works.
rounded out, yeah, fairly rounded out um,
The
party.
only thing, the only caveat is everybody in the group has dark vision except for Y. So, and he's a goddamn lizard.
But yeah, we've given him shit for not having dark vision already.
He's
So
not
that's
even
gonna
blind as a
be
bat. He's just blind, like blind as a lizard. So
which is gonna be hilarious with how the next session's gonna go.
hopefully,
Although you do have torches, and I'm pretty sure someone has the light, so that
I mean,
could be
if
useful.
we just set Ghosty on fire, everyone will be able to see.
Just sick, go steal fire and let him run through. Okay.
Yeah,
Let Slender Man run through, huh?
yeah. Good old Slender Boy,
Oh my god, that was
mud flinging Slender Boy.
oh, oh god, that was good.
That D&D sesh was pretty good, but that's pretty much what happened. Like nothing else crazy kind of happened. It was just more of the characters meeting up, and then a little bit of taste of combat, and that's pretty much it. Nothing
Yeah,
over
pretty
the
much.
top. So that's
Yeah,
why I'm kind
nothing
of
too
excited for the
nothing too
next
crazy.
session. The next session is going to be so much fun. I already feel it in my jellies. You know what I mean?
Hopefully it keeps on going. I would love this to be a multi-year campaign. Like, I don't want to say multi-year campaign, but I'd like to
Like
have it
multi-year,
go
like
for
in within the world, or like
for us.
like literal IRL time.
Yeah, like if like, I mean it's every 2 weeks, so I mean
As long as we
there's
don't do
only
anything
so far.
stupid, we kind of last a pretty long time.
Yeah, hopefully, hopefully,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's pretty much like how our first D&D session went. That was derived from a spur of the moment thing.
Yep. So that's pretty much the D&D stuff recapped. Is there anything else that you wanted to talk about on that end before we move on
Uh,
to I don't know what.
no, I think that pretty much covers everything but for the D&D campaign. But
Right.
we also I just want to mention D&D is not being recorded.
Nope.
If anyone,
We might, if
so
depending on how things go, we might do like future ones.
yeah,
But right now, it's just we're
but
just trying to
at
get
the
everyone
moment it's just
comfortable
an us
and
thing. Yeah.
yeah, and just enjoy it like as an experience. Right.
Yeah.
So, did you want to talk about content creation stuff? Because I'm going to be honest, apart from this podcast, I've been pretty quiet on that front. Because
I mean,
you've been streaming. You've been streaming on Twitch. Do what?
yeah, I've been doing
Solasta. Been doing some Diablo. What else have you been doing?
Celeste Diablo. What else have I done?
Oh, you did.
I did.
You tried to do. Was it Warhaven the other day?
Yeah, that was a shit show. I also streamed the Elgatia story for Lost Ark as
True.
well.
Diogenes.
Uh, Fucking DHE.
All right. So,
Yeah.
what did you think about Warhead?
Uh,
Like, obviously,
I
there's some
mean,
glaring issues that you encountered, but
yeah, I wasn't able to get an online lobby. I could only do the bots, which was, I mean, it was a beta or a demo as they were calling it. But you at
was
least
a
want to at least be able to do like
was it a
actually
test
play against
weekend?
people. It was for Steam's demo days.
Ah,
That
right.
thing. But yeah, like the combat was actually the combat was fun.
I don't know. I
Gameplay
was kind
was
of like watching you, like like lurking a little bit, and every time I looked over to your stream, it would just be you charging with the shield dude off of a cliff into and dying instantly.
yeah. I didn't really enjoy that character. The big hammer dude and the healer I really enjoyed.
Oh, and I saw you, yeah, I saw you do the big Warhammer dude, and you were like one-shotting people, and then I saw like double kill into like triple kill into was it quad kill,
Yeah.
and then you had like your little Overwatch MVP screen at the end, and you had this big massive smile on your face or something weird.
Yeah, like the game is fun. I I just would have been able to enjoy it a lot more if I could actually do the matchmaking properly. But apart from that, it was pretty good, and it's going to be free to play as well. So that's
Or
always a
quotations,
plus.
quotations.
Yeah,
Next one we're talking
free.
about here, boys.
It's
Next
free to
one.
start.
Like the way
So
I saw the shop that they had, like it was mostly like kind of like Overwatch with like cosmetics skins.
yeah, very similar, like with the battle pass and other things as well, or as they called it, a warpath.
That sounds
But
so
otherwise,
that sounds so cringe. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna
it
be
does.
honest.
Yeah. But
I
otherwise, it
leveled up
was
my warpath today. Uh, okay.
yeah. But otherwise, it was perfectly serviceable. I just wish I could have done the
Yeah.
PvP properly.
Well, I saw some people trying to help you out, and they were doing some like testing.
Yeah, which was funny because after I like everyone else could get into a lobby but me. Yeah, but otherwise it was fine. What,
You had a
Diablo.
Solasta. You've had what?
Yeah, yeah. Diablo. I'm having fun with. I'm kind of waiting for season one to start before I actually
Is it
go
coming
into
out
it.
like actually a lot sooner than people thought, or is that just speculation?
Next week we're getting the launch date for the season.
What is that?
A lot of people, uh, they're doing a live. Basically what Blizzard's doing next week is they're doing a fireside chat kind of thing, like how
Oh,
New World
so
did it.
like kind of like the OTK one, but it's not a fake fire; it's a real fire. Or
Oh, I have no idea. But yeah, basically they're going to be doing a stream that talks about season one and the launch date of it, which I'm interested in and looking forward to. Hopefully, it's not Diablo 3 seasons and it's more similar to PoE seasons, where it
I
actually
mean,
adds substantial content
I don't know. Like
or
I thought it
mechanics.
was honestly, I thought Diablo 4 was going to be DOA, Dead on Arrival, based off of the other one that we do not speak of. But I mean, it seems to be fairly well received based on what I've seen.
Yeah, yeah,
Like it's not like
it's fun.
groundbreaking. Oh my god, this is the new thing. But like it seems to be at
It's
least
a good, it's
decent.
a good action RPG. Like
Like
it's
I
good.
remember the first few days where it came out and people were freaking out that they like there was this like bridge where you would lag out in the beta or something like that, and you didn't lag out on the bridge anymore when it released.
Yeah,
And, like to me, it
but
was
that's
kind of like a
early.
double-edged sword where it's just like it's good that it works, but has the bar really gotten that low that we're celebrating you not freaking teleporting on just transitioning areas? It
Yeah,
like just having a working functional game is an achievement now, like something
I mean
to be
these
praised.
days, yeah.
So it's a little bit depressing in that sort of. But I'm glad it works. I'm probably still not going to play it. But
And whatever witchcraft they're running their servers on, that they can they can push multi-gig patches and have them keep the servers up as well is witchcraft. I swear.
I don't know. Maybe that's part of the like like the design of them. Maybe they didn't add any new features because they're focusing on like back end stuff and like the
Yeah,
MMO aspect. Because
maybe.
there's like an MMO aspect to it apparently.
Only MMO things like you see people in town and you can see people out in
We
the
have
world.
like the world boss
That's
thing.
really and the world bosses, but yeah, apart from that, it's not really. There's MMO features, but it's not an
It's
MMO.
kind of like was it Dark Souls where you can see like people leaving shit around, or you see like
Oh yeah,
little echoes of people,
yeah, pretty much.
but it's not like
But it's
fully
like
like a it's not like a fully MMO experience.
no, like
Yeah,
I
no,
mean,
I
all
mean I'm
boss.
happy that it's okay, like it's serviceable, but I'm I'm still kind of I'm still not gonna get it. I don't think it's something I would do. But
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, not every game's gonna be for everyone. So.
yeah, but surely like it can't be worse than the other one.
Diablo 3 wasn't that.
No, 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 not that. No, no, not that one. The other one.
The one?
The one that's so traumatic that it seems like you blocked it out from memory. Do you not have phones, man?
Oh, okay, yeah, no, okay, yep. The cash grab, got it. Okay,
The
yeah.
someone spent so much money that he was so high item level he couldn't match into PvP because there was no one within his gear score range.
Oh yeah, I remember that. That was like,
Uh,
oh yeah,
Diablo Immoral, which I don't
yeah.
even know is it still a thing or has it died yet?
It's pushing updates.
Is it?
Yeah, it's actually just had a recent update,
Oh
from what I
Lord,
remember.
damn. Yeah, so like I'm glad it's not that.
Yeah,
So,
thankfully.
but yeah, you have Diablo. You also had Solasta. You finished Persona recently
Yeah,
after
finished Persona 5
a marathon
after
of I don't know how
150
many
hours.
sessions.
After 150 hours, that game is finally
Finished
done.
Persona. Um,
But yeah, Celeste, it's the new DLC, The Palace of Ice. So far, it's been pretty good.
you haven't accidentally speedrun it because the previous DLC you
Uh,
somehow accidentally speedran to the end.
yeah,
I don't even know what you did. But you got like the super efficient any percent bad ending, I guess.
yeah, yeah. That was what happened with that was I had I was in an area that I probably wasn't meant to be in at the moment, but because how my characters were built, they were going through it relatively easily. And there was an NPC in a prison that I freed, and I killed. So that character was linked to another character. So when you killed that character, it killed the other character. And when I went back to town,
But didn't you kill everybody in town before that happened?
no, that was when I got back to town and the emperor was dead.
Oh, because
So
like I remember you coming back to town, and then like every area of the town, you had to fight like 4 or 5 enemies.
yeah, I fought my way to the throne room
Yeah, you
of
fought your way to the
thing.
throne room, and there was like no one there, and then you just kind of completed the game. And I was like,
Yeah, there was a scepter in that throne room that I grabbed, and then it was pretty much you have finished the game. Go to the exit. I'm like, oh,
and
okay.
then he was salty for like 3 days. It
Yeah,
was
I
it
was real
was it
upset
was
about
it
that.
was, it was kind of funny. I'm gonna be honest with you, because like
Because apart from that, it was an okay DLC.
I
This new
mean,
one though has been a lot better so far.
I am apparently giga chatting because he Initiative has made like members of our group characters, and I
Yeah,
am
my mods are my
yeah I'm the pack mule meat shield of the group, and I think I've gotten to the point now where I'm built so like I'm basically unkillable, and it's great.
yeah. Like you have a shit ton of health, and you yeah you deal a good chunk of damage.
If
You
if
take
I
a lot of
hit,
damage
if I hit,
if you hit. Yeah, that is a very good point. If you actually hit.
because how many hours have you spent on Solasta? You've done
All up.
three. You've done 3 sessions, right?
Um, of this DLC, I've done 3.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
that's what I
all
mean.
up, I've spent all up, like,
This is a
completing all
second
the
DLC,
content.
right?
The first, yeah, second DLC, yeah.
Because the first one was the speed run.
Yeah. But all up, I've spent 75 hours since the last one, which is it's about 25 hours, 20 to 30 hours per campaign.
Yeah, it's not bad. But you just started it like what, a week ago,
Yeah, I'm about 10-ish, 15-ish hours into this new one.
and
Yeah,
then
it's been
you're
pretty
still
good
going
so
through
far.
that. So there's like no major. I mean, you killed like a ghost dragon. That was about it.
Yeah, it's surprisingly Squeezel. Okay, so I should preface this with Squeezel has not a problem, but a skill of rolling really low. So, and
We're talking nat ones here, boys. Nat one.
constantly rolling really poorly. So, I mean, it's a blessing and a curse because I use the people that know the ability Divine Intervention. You need to roll really low for, and Squeezel rolled a 1 on a D100. So it actually worked, and it summoned a Divine Avatar, which hits really hard.
And it killed the
Uh,
dragon thing.
yeah, surprisingly, her rolling low saved the party
Yeah,
somehow.
I can only face tank so much, bro.
Yeah, it was. I was I was shocked, but also not surprised at how low she rolled.
True.
So that's
Yeah.
just the the fact she rolled a 1 on a D100. It was
Dude,
it was a
that's the
sight to
stuff I'm
see.
looking forward to. Is like those like Giga Chad hero moments. It's gonna happen. It's gonna be glorious. Yeah.
It,
And then you also streamed the El Garcia story for Lost Ark that just came out.
yeah, that was
So
that was fun.
out of 10 overall experience.
Sto- story. I mean, overall, it's like a solid 7.
Is it
I
better than Southfern?
I would. I mean, Southbound had some really good cutscenes, but I'd probably say it's about on par with Southbound. Although the last,
It's
well,
definitely way more cutscene heavy. Like it's like 75% cutscene.
yeah, apart from the last like 20 minutes of the actual area and not the last dungeon, was just the characters repeating themselves after the like repeating
I mean,
themselves
to be fair though,
and
you are
repeating
also
themselves.
playing on a paladin, which is basically trying to kill your enemies with a pool noodle. So that probably didn't help
Yes,
the experience at all.
that is also very true. But it gets to a point where the characters have repeated themselves 10 times in a row. It's just like, okay, just let me skip through all this shit. Shift G, let me get through it all. And by the time you've spoken to the 50th person that's just repeating the exact same thing, it gets frustrating. And there might have been a mild amount of rage.
He was mildly raging,
Yeah.
but he was happy when he got to finally kill stuff.
Yes, it was. It's always fun killing stuff in Lost Ark. It has
Although
really good
watching
stuff.
him do the final boss, and because I've done it on, because I have way more characters that can do it than he does, and I've done it on multiple characters that surprisingly do more damage. And just watching like the health bar tick down, like there was a one boss in there. I don't even know what she does because every time I just walked in there and just one shot her. And Initiative's like fighting this boss for like a solid 5 minutes, trying to like whittle down her health.
Yeah, good old supports.
But we did do the dungeon as well. What was it? When did we do that? Monday? Is it Monday?
I think it was Monday. I
I think we
think
did it on Monday.
sounds
It was
right.
either Monday or Sunday. I can't remember. I think it might have been Sunday.
Could have been Sunday. Yeah.
But we did the Abyssal Dungeon normal mode, and I mean I've done it
It,
multiple times. That was
I mean,
Initiative's first
it
time
took.
going through it.
I mean, it took 3 hours, like 3-ish hours, but it was fairly
Yeah, but we
smooth.
spent like 2.5 of those 3 hours on the final gate. So
Yeah.
Like the first three were like super smooth. I don't think we reset. We didn't reset on any of the
Uh,
gates, did we?
no, I think we only reset on gate. No, we didn't reset on gate. Yeah, I think we
Gate one
went.
was fine. The Deathblade died like near the end. Then the Reflux Orc took over and killed it for us.
Yeah, that's true.
Gate two, you died with, and the Deathblade also died, but me and the Reflux Orc finished it off because you died like near the very end.
Yeah,
And then
it's like on the last mechanic I died.
Gate three was fine. We one pulled Gate three.
Yeah, surprisingly, but yeah, gate four. I mean, it's not necessarily hard. There's just some bullshit in the like at the 60 bar mechanic
Yeah.
where it just the boss pulls you more than it should, or like towards him,
Like the main
and it
issue we were running into was we just had to have all four of us alive at the end and we were fine, and we were just like one person was just randomly dying like, near the end.
yeah.
That was pretty much it. But
I
everyone knew
mean,
what they were doing, so it's fine.
there was some issue with like some issue, like not issues, but like there was the death blade wasn't like pinging certain areas correctly, or like standing in things that they shouldn't have. But
Yeah.
otherwise, it went fine.
But I think that was more of a fatigue thing because that was like he was starting to
Yeah,
make more mistakes like as it
yeah,
because like
definitely.
he was the most excited when we finished the raid. So.
That he was. Yeah,
But no, it
like
was
I'm I'm
everyone was
I'm
on
fine
item level
taking.
on. Was everyone on item level or
Uh
because it
yeah,
was a 1540 Sork, 1540 Deathblade. Because
it's all
you were the only juiced one there on your palette.
yeah. Well, we say juice,
Oh, Mr. Purple quality over here.
but shut up. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah. No, I think it's a pretty chill raid compared to Brawl Shaza, which you love and enjoy.
Oh, don't fucking get me started on the bitch.
But we're getting some big changes to Lost Ark, at least for the Western version, while they try and put out the dumpster fire in Korea. Um,
Yeah,
Basically, we're getting all of the updates that Korea's getting, except for Thameen, but
yeah,
their item level is like, was it 30 item levels above us, which might not sound like a lot, but in the grand scheme of things, is quite a lot.
yeah,
Because honing your armor level to one level is only 5 item levels. So yeah, it's like if we're what plus 15, their gear would be plus 21, which is like every tap is what 2% or something like that.
oh
It's
yeah. When you get up high, the chances drop,
like so to upgrade your gear, you
and the
basically
cost
have to roll a
increases as well.
dice. I think Squeezel's like divine. Was it divine protection or
Yeah, divine intervention.
a divine intervention? It's like essentially you have to land that, but like 30 times. Oh no, 30, not 30 times. 36 times. And
Yeah,
the weapon is 6 of those 36, and the weapon is like 3 times more expensive than the armor. So people are kind of molding because it takes forever to gear up and get to the item level. So
but it's also like one of the issues like that, particularly Korea has, is that what the what the average populace, like the average player, complains about is not what the streamers complain about,
pretty much.
and so it's like every time you go into a Twitch channel, they're complaining about something that most of the people don't relate to because they don't have more than like 4 characters. The average player, whereas a streamer has like 6 to 10 characters on a
It's kind
level.
of separated because you have like the casual players who only have like 1 or 2 okay characters and the rest is trash, and then you have like the sweat lords that have like fully geared characters like 6, 7, 8, like because I have a lot of character. I have 24 characters in Lost Ark, right? But like they're not perfectly best in slot geared and maxed out stats and everything, and the quality's kind of whatever. There's so many systems in Lost Ark that you have to do to just get like little small percentage increases in damage and stuff like that. But there's people who literally no life the game complaining about problems that pretty much only them and like 5 other people who are stupid enough to do the same thing. complain about. While the rest of the player base is kind of just like, there's nothing for us to do, and the shit we have now is kind of boring because it's super repetitive and we don't like it, and we just want more stuff. So
Yeah.
the Korean climate of Lost Ark is very, I mean, toxic is probably not the right word for it because that's just another day in the office, I
Very
guess.
self-centered. Very
Yeah.
self-centered.
Whereas
I
the
mean, like it's fine being self-centered, but it gets to a point where it's just like you've got to take a step back and realize like what actually is the problem instead of just complaining for the sake of complaining.
yeah. On top of that, it's like the people who are complaining are the same people that don't want to help out other people. So like
Yeah.
there's an issue with like new players coming into the game and not being let into raids because they don't know and they don't want to. So like the elitists want to play with other elitists, and then they use illegal programs that then because you're not supposed to have DPS meters in the game, and they use DPS meters, and then they gatekeep people based on like all sorts of weird criteria. Like it's like applying for a job where you're like 20 years old and you go for a job and they expect you to have like 35 years of experience. And for a new player, it's, you know, like they just kind of just give up, you know what I mean? Like they're not going to waste all this because it's very time intensive game. So
Because there's also another thing. There's they most people like when they create a lobby, they put like checking title, like PLC, which is Phantom Legion Commander.
so
And
that
the thing
means
is
you have
like they
to complete the hardest raid in the game 10
at the
times.
moment, yeah, 10 times. And I mean most people only do the first 4 gates and then just get their gold and go. So that alone,
I don't even
like if
have the
it,
title. I don't even have the title, and I can do the raid on 17 characters, right? And these guys are expecting like it's like I can understand if they want to do all 6 gates and they ask for title. That's fair enough, right? But
yeah,
it's
like
it's
that's
gotten to the
fine.
point
We're
where
doing one
it's
to
just
four.
the first 2 gates need title, which is the objectively easiest gates in the entire raid. Are the first 2,
Yeah.
the entry level gates, right? So it's getting a little bit ridiculous at the moment, and a lot of people are, I guess, burning out, or like they have like this like a doomer mindset where they're kind of trying to self fulfill the dead game prophecy kind of thing. It kind of reminds me of when like a New World first came out, or like when No Man's Sky came out, where it didn't have a very good release and it didn't have a very good follow up like 6 months, and everyone was just
Oh yeah.
like, you know, like is New World good again, or is No Man's Sky actually like playable now? Did they fix the game? It's Lost Ark is transitioning to that point, at least in Korea, whereas in the Western version, which is our version of the game, it's like there's still issues, but objectively, we're getting some really good updates. Like, you know,
Yeah, we're getting quality of life. Like, okay,
we're getting
so
quality
our
of life at
version
the
of the
same
game.
time as Korea is getting.
Okay, yes, but also no, because we're getting these quality of life updates. So put into perspective, they're going into Daymine, which is they're going to be their new end game in September, I think it is. Like to give a perspective, we have just gotten Belshazzar, who
We
is
just
the
got Triangle.
fourth. Oh yeah, we just gotten Triangle, which is an Abyss dungeon, but it's like the next tier above Belshazzar, who was the fourth Legion raid.
And then in
So to put
August, we're getting a Khan.
in August we're getting a card, yes. But also we're getting these quality of life changes like before they are in the terms of progression.
Yeah, so
So
they're getting it now, but their progression is further along than ours. But we're getting like this like the quality of life that they're getting, we're also getting, but we're at a different stage of the game compared to KR.
yes, like where that is
We don't have a Khan.
12 months
We
away.
don't have we don't have Voldyke yet, and they're gonna get Thameen in September, and we're getting a Khan in August. So like they're 2 raids ahead of us, and they're getting the
Yeah.
same
So,
quality of life updates that we're getting.
but in terms of content, we're about 10 months behind them, but we're getting the quality of life things to make it easier, which is why our version is getting a lot. It's not. It's a lot better for us at the moment than it is for them.
Like if you compared what Korea was like when a month before Account came out compared to us, dude, we are juicing.
Yeah.
Like we
'Cause-
got the honing buff that Korea got like how many months after Account?
Yeah. Like
We got the
it.
honing buff before, which is for upgrading your armor and your gear and stuff. We got it before Account's even released, so.
But yeah, our progression is a lot more sped up than theirs,
And
which
even
is
our
it's nice.
progression still feels like despair,
Incredibly slow.
like
Yeah.
actual despair. So I can only imagine how they're feeling down there, especially considering that the developers are Korean. That is their home server, and like I don't know how much of it is like how much of the blame is transferable to the player base down there, and how much of it is because I feel like it's not like 100% the developers' fault. Like the players are a little bit sus down there as well. Because basically
Also,
they were
the
complaining about the opposite thing like 6 months ago or like 8 months ago, right?
yeah.
Like all the stuff that they're complaining about now, they were complaining about the complete opposite of that, like 6 8 months ago. Like a year ago,
Yes,
they were
that's
complaining that they were releasing raids too quickly, or they were releasing content too quickly, and people were getting burnt out and stuff like that. And now they're complaining that they're not releasing content quick enough. So it's kind of like
and
it's
they're
kind
also
of weird.
blaming the because they're also blaming the release of the China version as well on the slow content release. But it's not the Chinese release version isn't the reason it's slow. They're completely different teams,
Well,
and the raid.
isn't it like AGS? China has to have their own publisher that sorts that stuff out.
Yeah, they do. But also, like everyone, like the way they talk about it, they assume that everyone in Smilegate is working on the
Hmm.
Chinese
They
version,
don't
but they're
understand how
not.
department work and how
Yeah,
teams work and
like the raid team does not work on the Chinese version of the game. Like that's what
no.
there's. Yeah,
It's
it's
like
just
expecting
annoying.
the bakery department to like, work on checkout
Yeah,
in a
it's
supermarket.
exactly like it is not the raid team's duty to work on the Chinese release of the game. No, it's not. That's not how that works.
Which
And the
is
way
which
that
is
like the streamers talk
interesting
about,
because we just had the emergency follow up from low on the emergency what did they call it? Is it emergency dev stream?
Lost Ark Live was what
Yeah,
I think they were
where
calling
they
it.
were taught. Well, I mean, everyone expecting them to address the issues that everyone's talking about, but they kind of just talked about what the streamers were complaining about, and then kind of just dipped.
Yeah, like they addressed what the majority of players were complaining about, and not what the 1% of streamers.
Wasn't it the other way
Which
around?
I mean, like, okay, I should word that a bit better. But they addressed like what like the majority of the general population was, and not what these streamers were. I meant like the 1% that is the streamers were complaining about, because all the streamers are complaining about the amount of homework they've got. Homework is the chaos dungeons.
I thought all the
So,
streamers were
it's just what
complaining
they're doing.
like no, I thought that all the Korean streamers were complaining that there's nothing to do because they're all like got all their gear and everything and they're just doing the same raids over and over again. And they were just complaining that
That is that
there's no
is
end
that
raid
is also one
content.
of them.
And
Yes, they
like the
are.
casual
They are
players were
complaining.
complaining that there was all this homework and progression systems and everything and it was just too hard to actually get to
Yes,
the end game content.
they are complaining about that. But like that is also the homework complaint, which I hear a lot more than the
But it didn't
progression.
address any of the homework stuff.
No, they didn't. Which is what a
Which
lot of people are upset about. But then there's like the other side where people are complaining that it's taking too long for the raids to release, and they're blaming the Korean
yeah,
not the
like
Korean,
I don't
the
understand.
Chinese
It's
version.
taking too long. You're getting stuff every 2 months.
Yeah,
2 months.
I
This is what
mean
I'm so
for
confused
Korea,
about.
it's been 8 months. For Korea, it's been 8 months since the Khan, but it's only been like
Yeah, but when did Voltite come out?
Uh, that
Came out
was
December, right?
yeah. So it's been 8 months since
Because
Volta.
January was Slayer.
Yeah, so it would have been 12 months since Volta. And it would have been a year since Akan then?
Khan came out in August last year.
But yeah, about a year since Akan and 8 months since 7,
Eight,
8 months since
seven
Volta.
months, 7, 8 months for Vault.
Which
Which I
is
think,
what I can
comparatively speaking,
understand.
like compared to like WoW and compared to like other stuff like RuneScape, like how often does Final Fantasy release stuff? Like once every what, 1.5, 2 years?
Yeah, but that's also a subscription game, so there's a bit more of a
Yeah, but it's a
bit.
subscription game compared to like a free to play game that has a lot more
Yeah,
whale bait in it.
that is true.
Because like I think the content release in our version of the game is way too fast.
I mean, in our version, I think it. Yeah, I think it's fine, but I can see
Like
where people
I like
would
it's
say it's
okay
too
for
fast.
me, but like I'm talking about like the casual player. Like I feel
Yeah, I
it's
could see
just
it being too
super
fast for them.
overwhelming, like super overwhelming. It's like how many
Yeah,
months did we have to learn Bolt?
it was a month of
We had
Volta,
three
wasn't it?
because Vicus got delayed by 2 weeks basically, and then we had Vicus,
That's right. It was, yeah.
and then we had Vicus in June, and we had Vicus end of June, but she released in July, and then
Yeah,
we had Clown in November. Well, no, we had Clown in September.
yeah,
Because
because then we had Roshaza in
and then we had Brochels in December.
yeah,
So we had like 2 or 3 months, and now it's like they're
we've
getting
had
you
Roshaza
a
since.
Hyper Express to go straight to Belshazzar. So you have to learn Argos, Bolton, Vicus, Clown, Belshazzar
Yeah,
within what, a week?
yeah, pretty much. I
And
can
you
just
have to
imagine the
learn like
gatekeeping
eight
that's going to
months,
happen.
9 months worth of content in like a week.
That's if you're a new player as well.
If you're a new, well, which is more important than I say the veteran players who've
Yeah,
done these raids like thousands, literally thousands of times.
but also it's. I don't think those new players will stick around for long because as
No, they're
soon as
not. They're not gonna. Dude, you try to do freaking like just.
yeah,
Could you
because of the
imagine just
gatekeeping.
trying to do Gate One? Like you remember Gate One Clown Prog first week?
Yeah.
Can you imagine a
I
new
mean,
player
Gate
trying to do
One wasn't
Gate
too
One
bad.
Clown Prog? They got a freaking gauge underneath their character. Every time they hit something, they lose 3/4 of their health bar. They turn into a clown that they can't spacebar when they get knocked into the air for. People are pinging and shit. No one's communicating. And then on top of that, the clown character, that spazzes around the room every half a second, and you can barely hit him. And that's Gate One.
Yeah.
And then you have Gate
I mean,
Two, which is basically a back attacks nightmare, which is what most people are playing right now because everyone's making a Slayer or everyone's making a Deathblade or everyone's making like, one of the meta DPS characters like a Gunslinger or something like that. That the streamers use, and you know they don't have the thousands of raid experience or the hands to play their character, so they go in there, play the squishiest class in the game, get deleted in one hit, and then get vote kicked and jailed in Gate Two. Like
yeah. The amount of gatekeeping that's going to happen in the next few months, it is.
it's
It,
it's
it's
super
going to alienate so many
it's
people.
super it's super elitist. Like it's so bad. And the problem I'm having is I want to help the new players, but at the same time, it takes so much time. Like just to help one person, let alone like imagine if you're the only person that knows what they're doing and you have 7 people in a raid, and if one person stuffs up, you all die and you have to try again.
Yeah, that's how it is these days.
And that's on like
It's
Volton.
yeah, like mine your characters can pretty much carry Volton and Vikers, but the
I mean,
amount of people as soon as
I
one
can't
person.
carry Volton Gate 1. That's the thing, right? Like they have to know the difference between red and blue, and they have to at least be able to count to 6. But
More or less, our characters can somewhat carry them. Like as
like
long as
Argos is fine if like we have one person in each party that knows what they're doing, it's fine. But I haven't fully tested the climate in Volton, which is the first major Legion raid that most people, which arguably is the best Legion raid in Lost Ark.
But the main issue is just like as soon as one person dies, everyone just votes restart.
Yeah.
And
They
they
just
don't
give
give
up.
a chance. Yeah.
And the main
Even
issue that
if
I'm
there
having,
is even if
like
there is someone over
the main issue with the player base is all the people who have their characters geared up don't want to carry people. They want people who pull their weight in raid, and all the people who haven't got their gear, they want to be carried through everything. So it's like
yeah.
they're working on opposite ends of the spectrum. Like the newbies don't know what they're doing, so they kind of expect to get carried through shit, and the players who
And
know what
then
they're
what's the
doing.
response? Then what's the response from the veteran players? Buy a bus.
Well, no, we'll carry you for money,
Yeah, buy the bus.
which, like, why would you want to play a game where you just die and then give someone your gold? Like,
Yeah.
and I've tried doing like learning parties, but like I feel like I'm a drop of water in the ocean. You know what I mean? Like,
I've
kind of
been
this
with
thing.
you for some of those learning parties.
You've been with me
And
for most of those parties, man. Like they've been super
yeah,
fun, but most of them, like, they quit a week later.
yeah. Does that destroyer still play?
No, he hasn't logged in for 20 days.
Oh god. Oh, that poor destroyer. I don't blame him for quitting.
I don't blame him for quitting because there's literally no incentive to stay into the game. So, like, unless you like the sort of like, it's like if you like the challenge of it and you like the how the current progression system works, it's fine. Or if you have just people to play with, like Initiative
Yeah.
knows what it's like to have a group of like people to play with, and the difference between not having a group to play with.
Yeah,
And
I essentially had a static group for a year, which made things so much easier. Which
I did not. I did not have a static for a year, which made things very despair.
yeah, like but that also made like forced you to go out and make friends. But I like make friends with multiple different people where I was kind of just locked into that one group,
Yeah, but you only
which
had.
is
But the thing is, you also only really had one major character, whereas I
that
kind
is
of
true.
made an entire village worth. Like,
Yeah,
because when the first major raid came out, Initiative got scalped by a group in Volton, and I was kind of just
yeah,
you know there. It's like
yeah.
it was like that scene from Toy Story. It's like goodbye, old friend. Like I see him walking off with a suit with a static.
Oh,
So he's cleared pretty much all of the raid content that's come out with I say group, and
apart from Brolshaza Gate 6, which destroyed my group.
which is
Surprisingly,
what broke your group.
unsurprisingly.
You cleared Gate 6 normal mode though, but the hard mode broke your group.
Yeah, we did hard mode 1 to 5. Gate 6 broke the group.
So for the longest time, Initiative was pretty much always like a little bit better geared or a little bit higher item level than I was because I wasn't completing all the raids every week. Because sometimes we get jailed in like on the second gate, and then we wouldn't be able to complete it, and then it's just like,
Yeah,
well, because you get locked out, on each character for the week if you get jailed in a thing, someone disconnects or someone just has a baby rage and leaves and or something like that. He has a group that you guys were pretty like you guys took like maybe a week to prog, and then after that it was just running it down 30-minute quick in and out for the most part.
yeah. Like we weren't the best players, but we could do the content. Apart from Gate 6.
Yeah, but I remember when
Although,
you
okay.
got your Belshazzar horns, which I still don't even have on my main yet.
Yeah, I got the horns the second week, I think.
Yeah,
But yeah,
you
it
clear
was
gate 6 and you get this like cosmetic horns that make your character look kind of weird. But I still have not got that on my main at like on my main character, and he's like 60 item levels above what I need to be to actually clear that content. I still have like I don't even have a group that I can do that with, right?
Yeah.
I was basically in the trenches the entire time he was in a static. And it's kind of interesting because the moment his static broke is when I started getting hired for like groups for other raids like Clown and stuff like that. So it's like
It was.
complete.
Yeah.
It literally completely flipped from where I was just used to pugging everything and just playing with random people to like we just run down like 5 or 6 of the same raids and just swap characters and just get it done within like 3 hours. And that experience, if I had that, dude, I would be so much further ahead of where I was now if I had that since Fulton.
Yeah.
But if you're a new player, like getting those people, unless you know, like unless you're already friends with them, is so hard because no one in that space wants to play with people. Like, I mean, I'm not saying no one, but like
The
majority of the
majority of
people don't want to play with
people.
people that are significantly less skill level. Like it kind that kind of started when Clown came out. Like the good players kind of stuck with each other, and then the not so good players kind of stuck, like started doing stuff together. Because it's very like all the raids recently have been super punishing. So like it's fine when you're in Volton because it's only 2 gates. Like someone stuffs up, you just reset. But when you have a raid that has like 6 gates and like each fight in each gate is like 15 minutes long, and there's like one mistake you make in that 15-minute run, oh, everyone's dead. You got to redo like
Okay, so like I just want to like I should put this in perspective as well. Volton, Vicus, and somewhat Clown. If you die, it's generally your fault for dying. Like you screwed up.
except for Clown.
Broshaza though,
Sometimes Clown
like
is
I
just
said,
like sometimes Clown is just like screw you, you die now.
kind of, like I said, somewhat in Clown. Like if you die, it's your fault. Broshaza though, 1 through 4, you die, you kind of fucked up. That's your own fault. Gate 5 and 6, she'll look at you and go, you die now.
True.
Nothing you can do.
Yep.
And it's just like, oh, I'm
And
dead
that's
now.
like
That's
12
fun.
minutes into the run, 6 cutscenes in, you know.
Yeah, it's just not fun. Like when it's been that same person that's died 5 times in a row, and you can tell they're getting tilted as well.
Yeah.
And then
And
yeah,
it's like it's not like an instant, like sometimes it's an instant thing like you die once and people want to leave, but sometimes you can see it like have an actual like slow, like you're trying to kill someone with a spoon, like they go from like being friendly to like slightly toxic to like question mark to like just full on flaming to like let me out to like just griefing the raid, and it just goes, and it's just time wasted, right?
yeah.
So I feel like it's just not a.
Especially Brockjaws are hard as well. It's like a 20-minute fight if you're on item level, which is what we were doing it on. It's like someone dies 15 minutes in. It's like, oh, well, I guess we restart now. It's been another 15 minutes to get back to where we were. It's not fun.
You have 6 gates of that.
Yeah, it was not
I just
fun.
got a 7-7. Let's go. I'm sorry.
What's the 7-7?
Ambush Master Raid Captain, boys.
Okay, it's not bad. On which character?
Striker.
That's not bad. Yeah, that's not too bad.
But yeah, I don't know. Like it feels kind of bad because I have a lot of instances where I'm sitting in town just minding my own business, and I get like a private message from one of the newer players. They got a little Makoko icon, and they need help with stuff like the amount of time someone's like, oh, so could you come in and into a lobby just to get people in, and then you can leave if you once we fill up. I just need you to help you get people into the lobby and stuff like that. And it's just like, well, I mean, I'm here now. I might as well just do it. It's like a 5 minute run for me. Like, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
But like, I know for a fact that I'm an outlier, because most people would just either ignore the message or say like, sorry, I'm busy or something like that, right? Because there's literally no benefit for me out of it. I don't get anything out of it. Like,
Yeah.
if I'm lucky, I might get a card out of it from my card set. That's about it. But like, I have no issues doing that. But for the majority of the player base, they're just out here treating it like a full-time job. Like there's people like the game resets on Wednesday nights for us, and people like log in, and within like 3 hours they've done their Belshazzar one of their Belshazzar 1-6. They've done like 2 clowns, and now they have Kyangel, so they probably cleared Kyangel as well already. Like they're just in there straight away, just smashing it out. Like, and then trying to get as much of their stuff done as soon as possible. And it's like that's stressful, man. That's stressful. Because they're the ones imposing that mentality on the player base, on the rest of the player base, right? Because if they're doing all of their raids at the start of reset, that means all of the new players are going to try and do all of their raids at the start of reset as well, because that's when most of the people do their raids, which means the end of the week comes and there's no one, like it's literally like dead. Like there's one lobby up, and that lobby is just like doing Argos, and you need to be like 1500 item level, which Argos is like 1370 entry level, and they're expecting you to be like 150 item levels above the content.
Which is hilarious.
Which is so stupid.
And they don't even get gold for it.
And they don't even get gold for it. That's so good.
It's literally a card run.
Right?
And,
like we went in there on a 1460 characters. I was in one party and Initiativ was in the other party, and then we just took 3 people in our party. We had no support. We pressed the matchmaking button. There was like 6 Makokos in there. It was just like 0 support, 6 new players, and me and Initiativ, like 1 in each party. And we spent like 2 hours wiping and explaining mechanics, and because like they didn't know what to do. So I was just like, it's fine, like we'll tell you. Like they're like apologizing, there's like saying sorry and stuff, and then after a while you're just like explaining what they're doing. And I remember in gate 3 there was an instance where I would ping like the first pull, because I was like trying to explain as best as I could to the new players, right, what was going on. And it kind of just got to the point where it's like, well, we just have to go in there and just see what it's like. And I remember the first pull, I would like ping, and like all of them would just scatter. There would just be like numbers on the mini map just going all over the place. And then we die because people didn't know what they were doing. We die, we reset, and I'm just like, look, I'm gonna ping. When it follows the ping, just stand where the ping is. So we go pull again, and I ping, and then all of a sudden it was like all of the Avengers assembled onto that location, and you could watch them improve in real time. And it was so nice. And then everyone, like, we cleared the raid, and honestly they did better than some of the players that are already existing now with like an extra 60 item levels above the content. I'm gonna be honest with you, because they went in there 1370, 1380, which is basically like everything hits you like a truck. We had no support in either party, and we had no gun lancer, and they cleared the raid, which is like an achievement in itself. Which is,
I would say 1490 Deadeye in Argos, but that's just a bad memory.
Yeah, we had a 1490 Deadeye in Argos that was dying to stuff that doesn't even instantly kill you, just regular hits. He was just standing in stuff and just dying. Like, he literally, the way he was playing would be like, if I sat down at my computer, I clicked enter raid, and then the moment the boss loaded in, I just walked out the room. And I'd probably still live longer than that dude. Like, I'm gonna be honest. That's how bad he was. But I don't know. It's just such a weird place right now. Like, how do you feel after all the? Because we watched the broadcast, the dev stream went live when it happened. We had the translation, but like, what was your reaction to it?
For us, the West, it's generally pretty good, but I can see why Korean players are angry. That's generally what I think. Like, good for us, but I can see why Korean players are angry for their version.
I mean, I can understand why they're angry, like, but at the same time, it's kind of had it coming.
Yeah. And there's also another thing, like Famine, that releases in September for Korea, is going to be the hardest thing they've ever made. That's going to be.
They've literally said it's going to be so hard.
Like, can you imagine the gatekeeping in this fucking raid?
apparently, like they've literally said as well, like the item like gear score doesn't really factor in as much in like you can't just go in there and
It's just gonna be so hard mechanically that yeah, and they're introducing new combat systems into it as well, and I
it's
can
gonna
just
be
imagine
so
around a
hard
game.
mechanically, and we don't even know how to do red, green, blue gates. Or red, blue, green. Like, see, even I'm screwing it up, and that's Vicus, right?
Yeah.
Like before, we had like red, blue, green, white, black, and then changed it to 3 colors to make it simpler. And people were stuffing out more than when we had 5.
Yeah, that caused more issues than it actually solved. Okay.
And you want us to
Dear.
go into a raid where they have a cooperative counter mechanic? Like we don't even understand a regular counter mechanic half the time.
Yeah, it's hard enough getting one person to counter. Can you imagine getting
You know,
multiple
like
people to?
so. I don't know. Like there is one thing that I was happy about with the content though, because the Legion raid commander that is coming out in KR, basically every cutscene he's been in so far in the game, as far as the story is concerned, all he does is grunt. And in the trailer for his Legion raid, he grunts twice and doesn't say anything. So I think, like, I'm pretty happy with the fact that they saved all that Esther Rock and and Royal Crystal money on the voice acting for him, and which I'm hoping that the raid is good because you don't have to worry about like all the all the random dialogue. Is just going to be him just you
Yeah. Oh,
know.
it's like, can you give us an angry grunt? Can you give us a happy grunt? Can you give us an exasperated grunt? Can you give us a
Someone just
tired
went
grunt?
into like Vin Diesel's house while he was asleep on the couch and just recorded the noises he was making.
Uh,
So like that is the one thing that was pretty cool about the trailer. Like Soul Eater is a new class, and I'm definitely gonna make one, but I can understand why people are kind of like whatever about it because
it's very
let's
flashy with its moves, but I don't
let's
mind.
be honest, classes are like whatever, you know. Like there's enough variety in the game that we don't need a new class every 3 months. Just focus that energy into fixing issues with the game or revamping existing classes and making
Yeah.
fun content. You know, that's primarily like because like for me it's not an issue because I still enjoy the game, right? I know Initiativ's pretty much burnt out on the game as if he's just by himself. Like as long as like he'll only do content now basically if we're doing stuff together, right? Whereas like
Yeah, more or less.
I'll still do stuff, Like I won't quit, but it's kind of looking a little ominous, you know what I mean?
Like, I still enjoy the game. I want to play it, but I just can't find the energy unless I'm playing with someone I know. Like,
Yeah. Which is literally just one person
yeah,
because like everybody else quit on your friends.
yeah, pretty much. Yep.
So,
Uh, it sucks, but
but
it is what it is.
it's kind of disappointing in a sense because like while our version is nowhere near as bad as the Korean version at the moment, like there's a little bit of me that's like doesn't really give them like that doesn't have the same level of sympathy because when we were going through the shitter with like Argos and stuff like that, they kind of didn't really care. So now that everything's
Yeah,
flipped on its head and people are kind of defending Amazon now, which is kind of weird. I'm trying to like enjoy it while you know while it's still good, 'Cause
yeah.
there's a potential chance that it improves because people complain enough either the game dies or it gets fixed. But I'm just trying to enjoy it and do the stuff that I enjoy instead of forcing myself to do it and then seeing what the shit show is going to be like.
It's gonna be interesting how it unfolds over the next 4 to 6 months.
What for the Korean bit or just the game in general?
The game in general, because we're bleeding players, so
Bleeding
there's
is a bit rough.
we're hemorrhaging, hemorrhaging players.
I mean, we
Uh,
were shitting blood for a hot minute. And
there's also the bot issue as well, which I don't really want to go into. You can
You
just
know
imagine
the
how
alphabet
bad the bots
spaghetti.
are in a
You
pay
know
to
the
win game.
alphabet spaghetti. We're basically shitting that out, and all the letters that are coming out is HH.
Yeah. I mean, they do the like bot ban memes, but they always come back like 3 weeks later.
I mean, to be fair though, I think the bots are leaving because it's like the situation is that bad.
I'll say that too. Yeah.
So it doesn't like it doesn't look good, but I'm trying to stay positive as best that I can and not be like toxic
And
like everybody
and
else.
also any new player that joins stays maybe 2 months, and then they get sick of being gatekept, so they just leave.
Oh, I mean, some of the new
2 months is
players, dude,
generous.
some of the new players, they actually got better gear than I do somehow.
Really?
Yeah, there was a couple of like Makokos that we helped at Argos a couple of times that added me, and like their characters are like 15, 60 something now with like full ancient gear and level
Oh,
7 and 8 gems.
oh,
Yeah, there was like this Deathblade that added me from one of the Argos things where like I just accept I was just taking because you know we were just as an Argos run I was just taking whoever and he
yeah.
added me and then like we never talked again but every so often I just see him online and I check his gear and it's progressively getting better than mine.
God
So
damn.
like
Okay.
it's not like players aren't staying because it's just they're kind of in their own little bubble.
Yeah, I guess.
But it's not the fact that players aren't staying. It's more like the number of players that aren't staying is more concerning to be honest. Because there's like some people that like the challenge of conquering the difficulty of it, but
Yeah.
and then there's some like the like you know Mrs. She literally spends all her gold on just upgrading her stronghold and decorating her stronghold. I don't know where she gets it from. It's impressive, but you know she's
Like
done
right
like
now,
three
there's
and a half rooms
33,000 people on Lost Ark.
and like probably like 10k of them maybe bots. But that's
Yeah.
33,000 people spread across 5 regions, soon to be 4.
Yeah, that is a good point.
Because you have Europe
Uh,
West, Europe Central, and then you have South
which is being
America
merged.
and North America East and West.
Yeah. They're merging Europe, Central, and Europe West. Is it Europe? It's Europe West, yeah.
So yeah, it's looking a little bit bleak. Um, especially with like Blue Protocol potentially coming out, and
I
was it?
mean, we could say Throne of Liberty, but
Well,
we all
Throne of
know
Liberty
about
is
Outpost.
just Throne and Dead.
Yeah.
Throne
Blue
of Liberty
Protocol
or
though
like
isn't
is
like
is is not in the picture at this current juncture in time as far as competition, but Blue Protocol is
well,
looking okay.
yeah, I mean a
It's
lot of
got
streamers are
waifus in
enjoying
it,
Blue
doesn't it?
Protocol.
So that means it's an automatic
Yeah, it's everywhere.
direct competitor
Yeah,
to.
a lot of people seem to be enjoying Blue Protocol.
Yeah. And then Diablo is popping off and doing well. PoE 2 is coming out soon. So there's a lot of stuff that's probably going to make the numbers even worse. So like it's
Yeah.
kind of rough that Lost Ark is competing with New World for numbers right now.
Yeah.
So yeah. But apart from that, let's you know
Like
I don't
I've
want to
I've
doom
considered
it.
starting up Final Fantasy again. It's only 14.
I know I've
But
considered downloading Star Rail and trying that out. Like I just you know the only thing I'm actually genuinely looking forward to is Stormgate, the beta for Stormgate, which is the
um,
new
yeah, you've been
RTS.
talking about that for a bit.
Well, I mean, there's not much else to talk about. It's just you know I'm like sitting there like Deku, just rocking back and forth, waiting for my access key to be able to play the game.
Stormgate coming soon.
Yeah, soon TM.
Yeah. Uh,
Is there anything else you're looking forward to that's not an absolute shit show like Tarkov or Lost Ark?
um, at the moment, the main thing I'm looking forward to is just the Diablo 3 season. I'm hoping it's good, and then apart from that, Armored Core 6 in August.
Armored Core. Ooh, true. It's the
Yeah,
FromSoft. That's the FromSoft one, right?
yeah, it is. Yeah, the robot one.
That's like
The
Robo Dark
mechs.
Souls, or is that a different thing?
I I'm not too sure on how they're going about the combat system. I've seen some videos. It seems I'm not exactly sure how it seems, but it seems like it's gonna be fun for at least. I'm really looking forward to.
I
I
mean,
mean, there's nothing else really too much coming out. I mean,
most of the
there's like
stuff's coming out at the
Starfield.
end of the year, isn't it?
Yeah, Starfield after Armored Core.
So you're gonna do
Oh,
stuff like you're
also,
gonna do a full playthrough of Starfield.
I mean, story at the very least, and there's also Baldur's Gate 3 as well coming
Also,
out soon.
Final Fantasy 16 on PC eventually at some point, which
Hopefully, that
I'm not
would
going to
be
spoil it for you because I watched one of my other friends play it, but the cutscenes in that is actually like disgustingly good.
yeah. And then in
Like I
October,
dare
we've got
say,
Baldur's Gate
like
3.
as good as like Blizzard cinematics, but like longer and a good chunk of the game.
Yeah, I've really wanted to be on PC.
Like the particle effects, even the fights in that game, it's super.
Yeah,
I've never played like a
yeah,
Final Fantasy game, so but it looks very fluid and kind of crazy, to be honest.
even from the small amount I've seen, it looks very cinematic.
Didn't Final Fantasy used to be a turn-based game?
It was, it was very JRPG.
Because I remember the only Final Fantasy game that I played, I think, was it Crisis Core on the PlayStation Portable
PSP. Yeah,
with Cloud and the other dude, guy with the black
Zach,
hair,
I think was Zach. I want to say.
the guy with the black hair
Was
that basically Cloud got his sword from.
Yeah,
Is it
I think
Zack
that's it.
or
I think it's Zach. But yeah, yeah. Last, I mean, my first Final Fantasy was Final Fantasy 13.
which one is that
That
one? Is that
was
the one with the redhead dude that was like
that's
budget Joey Wheeler, or is that a different one?
no, that's with Lightning, pink head chick.
I don't know, dude. Like
It
I
wasn't that
never got
great.
into Zelda. I never got into Final Fantasy. So
And then I didn't even finish the first game of that. Although I did really enjoy Final Fantasy 15.
even back then on the PlayStation, like the cutscenes,
Yeah.
like something else. Oh yeah, we got that. Has there any been news been announced for Monster Hunter yet? Or when's that supposed to be?
Uh, no, we're just waiting for Tokyo Game Show for that. Like
When's that?
any
When's the
company.
game show supposed to be?
Tokyo Game Show. It was, I want to say August. No, actually, I think it's September. I'll have a look.
So it's looking
It
likely we get the
is
new Monster Hunter game at
late
least on
September.
console, probably March next year, earliest maybe.
Yeah, that would line up with their general PC like release timings. Yeah,
Because we did
Tokyo Game
fight,
Show is what
like
the
we basically completed Rise. Because the only thing we haven't beaten yet is like the super, like
yeah
the ones that
like the
require us to no life
the
the
MR
game for
check
like five months straight before we can fight them.
Yeah, the MR checks essentially, like the big, like
Like the
risen
grindy,
Ultra Dragon.
the super grindy end game sort of monsters, which is basically just monster like the like jacked up versions of monsters we've already hunted.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. But yeah, we finished that. I mean, and
I'm
like
pretty
apart
happy
from
with
that,
Rise, to be honest. People gave it a lot of crap for
people gave it shit for being a Switch game, and like I can
but
understand it's like not the most graphically appealing, but it was fun. Like, it was a
it
fun
still
game.
looked good,
It did.
which is why I was like, it wasn't like that much of a backward step. It still looked better than any of the handheld.
Most people thought it was a downgrade from World, which is what
Like
a lot of
graphically
people
speaking,
were.
yes, but I think gameplay wise, it was an upgrade.
Yeah, gameplay wise, definitely it was
So
really well done.
especially like the way the minimap work, where it tells you where everyone is, so you don't have to do like that weird tracking bullshit and wasting your time. Like you just go straight to fighting monsters. Like
Yeah,
it's called
it
Monster
was
Hunter. It's
very
not
good.
called
Very
Monster
good.
Tracker. Like
Yeah, it it got you into the meat of the game a lot quicker than the other one. It was good.
And the events and stuff like that, all the cutscenes, the way that the playing, like progressing through it with friends, because in World you had to watch every cutscene and then pop a flare, and then the person who wanted to join in also had to watch the cutscene, and then one of you had to leave and join the other person. And it was
Yeah.
just like terrible to play with friends. Whereas in Rise they
It,
made it so that if one person
it, was-
hasn't seen the cutscene, it plays the cutscene. If everyone's seen it, it doesn't play the cutscene. But you still in the
yeah.
same instance,
It was
which is,
it was a lot better of an experience.
well, it didn't waste like 3 hours of our time every single time we tried to play it. So,
That is true. Yeah. That's also
and
very true.
like our gear wasn't super optimized. It was good enough, and we eventually got everything done. Like that primal Malzeno was a repel, so we probably have one where we hunt him, I guess. Unless we literally can't kill him. We can only repel him because because of the lore, I guess. I don't know. Without
Speak-
spoiling it too much.
Speaking of Baldur's Gate 3, they just pushed up the launch date 4 weeks for PC, August 3rd.
August 3rd. All right.
Yeah, yeah,
So you have to finish Solasta before August 3rd.
yeah, yeah. 30 minutes ago, Larian Studios announced that they were just launching the game 4 weeks early on PC. But that's
Hell yeah.
nice.
Is it full price or is it?
It is full price game, but I already own it because I was
Oh,
in I did the early access stuff.
dude, like the things we're looking forward to are like so different, man. I'm looking forward to like an RTS. You're looking
Yeah,
forward
I'm
to
looking
like
forward to that.
full on like story mode. It's sick, man.
Yeah, and full on RPGs with stats and numbers and
Looting.
and looting. Yeah, good old loot. Hence the name of the podcast.
I'm still so happy with that Giga Brain moment. Coming up with the podcast name.
Do you
'Cause,
want to explain the moment you come up with the name?
so we got to explain the pretext of that. We were like, this is like the third day of us trying to. No, this is like the fourth day of us trying to do the podcast. But because we're like,
Something's always happened that pushed it back. It's
not necessarily pushed it back. We're just like socially awkward and shit, so we don't know how to
also that too.
how to
Very
initiate
much
it.
so.
But like we spent literally 4 hours in VC just trying to come up with a good podcast name that we were happy with. And
And would you like to explain how you came up with the actual name?
I mean,
How we
we
landed
came
on
we came
Parliament?
up with so many like potentially cringe names, but nothing was like a eureka moment. And I had made a very thick and mean fettuccine carbonara that night with extra cheese.
Yeah,
And I am of Asian descent, which means that my genetics is not uh, well equipped to dealing with the extra lactose as opposed to my European brethren. So I went downstairs. I was just like, "Yo, Initiativ, I'm fighting a battle on a couple fronts here, and I'm losing. I'm gonna be right back." And I
yeah.
went to go deliver some packages downstairs in the toilet, and it kind of just hit me. Like it was like it was like my meditation, you know. So because I was trying to work out like the things that you know encapsulated me and Initiativ, because we like the same things, but we also like different things. And I wanted to come up with something that kind of applied to
Encapsulated
both of
that.
us.
Yeah.
And then for some apparent reason, I was like, I think it's because I was like looking on my phone for like my V Rising videos on YouTube and stuff. Shameless plug. And I was watching like we killed a boss, and I noticed that like even when I was editing, every time we kill a boss, like it drops loot. And Initiativ's always like the first one to like spam pick up all the loot. And he doesn't say anything. He doesn't go like, "Oh, check this out." He like picks up all of the loot like a freaking goblin, and then he looks at it all and it's like, "Oh, look what I found!" And he drops it and shows it to me. And then I do the same shit in like Borderlands, and in Tarkov when we played Tarkov together, I would like open every box, every container, pick up everything. We're basically just loot goblins. So all of a sudden had this like epiphany where it's just like, instead of shoot first, ask questions later. Loot first, ask questions later. You know? And then I came up, I had this massive grin on my face. It was dark, so you couldn't see it, but it didn't matter, right? And I sat down and I'm just like, yo, Initiativ, I don't even need like an approval check for this. I know you're gonna love this, all right? I came up with the podcast, and I'm just like, you ready for it? You ready for it? He's like, okay. He does the Initiativ. Yep. What is it? And
Yep.
then I typed it out, and well, he just starts laughing. It's like, that's good. That's good. That's good. It was the muy buen moment. It was it was I think it was like pretty much perfect, to be honest, compared to like all the
Yeah,
other
it is.
garbage, the other garbage we came up with.
There was some cringy shit in other names. I can't
Uh,
remember any of them, but some of them were just bad.
yeah, no, I'm pretty happy with. I already have like an
And also,
idea for like a logo for it that I'm gonna make later tonight. Hope after we finish recording this, so that's gonna be
also some of them are very questionable.
some okay, but yeah, no, like
More than a few questionable.
yeah. Once we settled on the name, it was kind of just like okay, now we have like a stepping stone kind of thing. You know, like because it was so difficult to start without like even just having a name for it. Then we spent the next 3 days trying to work out how to just get it rolling. So today we're just like, screw it, might as well. If it's cringe, it's cringe. If it's not, it's not. You know. But
Yeah.
I think so far we've been doing all right.
Uh, Speaking of, how long have we been going for so far?
I mean, we started like it's been what, pushing 2 hours now. I think.
Okay.
Actually, I should probably check that. It should tell me how long. Oh, it's literally 1 hour and 51 minutes. There you go.
Nice.
It's done. So that's not too bad.
Very.
Pretty much covered through like all the stuff. Is there any other topics you
Yeah.
want to talk about?
Uh, nah, not really. Just, I mean, that's pretty
You
much
don't want to talk about any
everything. But
submarines imploding or
nah, that's
no,
not. I don't really want to. I don't want to
no.
touch on that. Yeah, that's.
Got any? So the way I understand it, I'm gonna be. I mean, this probably won't come out tomorrow because I don't know. See how long it takes. But I mean, I intend to stream. You know, some of the Smoge arc,
Yeah,
Lost Dailies. But I think you were planning to either what Solar was it Solasta you were planning to do or
yeah. I was gonna do that at night. So I'll probably join you during the day for some raids. If you.
uh I don't know. I don't even know what I'm doing because I have what I have clowns. I have three clowns. Uh, three Triangle normal modes, I think. Um, and then I don't know if you want to do like Wonderful Brill with the orphanage boys, but yeah, it's gonna be a whole bunch of raids, I think, for me. But like, I'm gonna be in the mornings, like starting out, so
Uh,
I don't know what's going on there because I got like two different groups of people, so it's all dependent on whether or not we get jailed and all that stuff because I mean I don't know, we had no issues with Kyengil last week with my groups, so hopefully everything's okay and then we can just screw around and want to Braille with the boys.
ah, sounds
But
good.
not, I don't know. Look, I'm gonna be honest, I haven't streamed for a hot minute and I just wanted to do it for the sake of doing it. Just
Out of everyone
but
in the friend group, I'm the one that streams the most consistently.
what was that?
Out of that friend group, I'm the one that streams the most consistently.
Which is concerning.
Yeah.
Has he been going what 3 4 days a week now? Last 4 weeks?
Yeah, about that.
God damn.
There's no, I don't really have like a set schedule at the moment. trying to work on it.
Yeah, I mean,
But
I'm trying, but it's kind of weird because like there's. I mean, obviously you felt you felt the vibe as well. Sometimes you just don't have the energy for it. Sometimes you want to do it, but you like don't.
yeah, yeah, that was last night.
I feel
I
like you
wanted
put
to.
like a lot of unnecessary pressure on yourself
Yeah, definitely.
sometimes, and like especially when your main game, everyone's talking about how it's like dying and shit, and you're just like, you know,
Yeah, it gets disheartening. It makes you not
yeah.
want to do it.
It's okay. Stormgate will come out and it'll fix all of my problems. I will have nothing to complain about, and I will be able to live the rest of my life in bliss. Be right back. I'm just gonna go
Oh,
inhale some copium real quick.
is there a planned release date for Stormgate?
What was that?
Is there a release date for Stormgate?
No. I mean, there's like the first beta playtest in July that they announced at the PC, whatever console, Xbox.
Okay. Yep.
But if it's anything like StarCraft 2, they'll have a beta. It runs for like a couple of weeks, and then they release the game like a few months later.
Okay.
But there's some other stuff like Project Zomboid that I kind of want to try,
Yeah.
but I don't want to play it like by myself. So
Yeah. I'm not sure
I'm
about
I'm in my social gamer stage. I want to play with other people
that's fine.
because when I eventually transition out of it, I want to do Outer Wilds. Do a playthrough of Outer Wilds because apparently it's very good, and I've never like it's not like Witcher where I've played through bits of it before. Like I don't know what's going on, so it's like a fresh new experience.
Yeah.
'Cause,
And
I don't know.
from what I've seen, it seems pretty good.
I mean, it's got really good reviews. I've heard pretty much good things about it.
Yeah.
Like across the board. So I kind of just want to experience it and see what it's like. And maybe if I can salvage my save from Dragon Age 2, might try Dragon Age is it Origins or no, not Origins. What's the other one?
Inquisition.
Inquisition, because I never played Inquisition.
I mean, I still need to play through two and Inquisition.
I think you did play through 2.
No, I didn't. I haven't played through two yet.
Because I know
I
you
need
played
to
through
though.
1.
Yeah. That
I
was
should
fun.
is that the one where you like walked into an area and immediately got firebombed and instantly died?
Yes. Yes, it was. Yeah,
Okay,
it was. That was hilarious though.
because I never had that experience because my guy was a dwarf, so he had magic resistance, so it did like nothing to me.
Oh. Yeah. Uh,
I'm kind of hoping to stream more often. It's kind of difficult unless I really get into like Outer Wilds or something like that. But Stormgate's lit and I channel my inner Korean again. I don't know, kind of weird because like Lost Ark only has probably a 2 day window where it's streamable.
yeah, that is true.
Like Thursday or Friday, and then it's kind of like dead for the rest of the week. So, unless people want to see me do
Yeah.
like 13 clowns in a row with 3 different groups.
Uh, yeah.
But what happens after, like, say you finish Solasta before Baldur's Gate comes out? Is there anything?
Um, that is a good question.
Is there anything on the list?
I mean, because like I could stream the
Ooh, true.
Honkai Star Rail. I could stream some Lost Ark, but I feel like I'll be miserable if I stream that.
Well, you're gonna stream
Uh,
a Braille hard mode jail.
yeah, sure.
A man's slow
Um,
descent into madness.
I mean, we're also going to do our Yu-Gi-Oh stream.
Oh, true, we do. That's right, we do. We have to sort out the format for that. Actually, yes, we do have to do a Yu-Gi-Oh stream at some point.
I mean,
I don't know.
I've got games that I can play. Like I've got Oxy not included. I want to do a
Dude,
good run through of
I
that.
need stuff that I can have on the side to vibe to that won't confuse the shit out of me when I'm editing. So,
Like,
because
I'm really looking forward to the Diablo season. Like, that's going to be a big
do you reckon
part
you'll
of
get it
like
this year?
get what this year.
The Diablo stuff has it been
I
announced?
mean,
It hasn't been like the day hasn't been announced, right?
no. We're getting the season announcement later this week, like early next week.
Because you were gonna make
So,
your necromancer.
yeah, I'm between Necromancer and Sorceress. I'll probably do Necromancer though. Yeah, like I've got other games like Oxygen not included. I want to
Dude, Oxygen
play
not
again.
included is actually like so much fun. It is so stressful, but it's so much fun.
Yeah. Rimworld. I wanna do another playthrough of Rimworld.
Rimworld. Isn't that the one
Yeah.
where like you made us as characters and then we got abducted and dragged away, like knocked unconscious? And
Yeah, something like that. Something like that happened. There's also Timberborn. I want to stream.
I've never seen you play that game.
I've played it offline, but it's it's like Anno but with beavers.
Hmm. Because the only other thing
It's
that I potentially might be interested in, but I probably won't play, is the new Tarkov one, which is may not be
oh
coming.
yeah, Tarkov.
Because
Hmm.
they're having all
Mo-
sorts of pre-wipe events, but they haven't said it's pre-wipe event. So
yeah, that is another thing. Like, I don't know if I want to wait till 1.0 for Tarkov.
look, I'm just happy. I would be happy playing single player Tarkov, just as a. It's oddly a weird sort of unwinding tool. I don't know what this. There must be something wrong with me because like my way of unwinding is like put me in super stressful situations and I can relax. But I don't think
Uh,
there's something ain't right, you know.
yeah.
But, uh, I don't know. It's like all of the games that I enjoy at the moment is in super smudged down. So I don't know. I'm just hoping for like it's either that or I just become a Minecraft streamer. But I really don't want to do that. You know what I mean? Like you can only
Yeah,
keep it PG for so long before you lose your sanity.
that is true.
Uh, it's
Mm.
it's it's looking like a pretty potentially good second half of the year, but I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it.
It's
Hopefully,
going to be interesting. The next six
hopefully,
months is going to be interesting.
hopefully the stream's okay. If not, I'm just gonna lurk in your stream and cry.
Fair enough. I mean, you're always welcome to cry in the stream. I mean, because I don't have
I,
to hear or see it. So that's
I mean, true. I'll cry in silence. It's a silent internal crying. Yeah. All right. Well, how do you feel? Reckon that was a good sesh?
yeah, I do. I feel like
Reckon
we've covered a lot
we
of
should
bases.
end it there and
Well, Uh, did you want to do your shout outs first?
my shoutouts. What do you mean my shoutouts? Dude, I'm not media trained at all whatsoever.
Well, I'll go first then. Well, I have been. Thank you everyone for tuning in. If you actually made it this far, um, like I said at the start, this is the first and possibly the last, depending how it goes. And
Surely it's not.
yeah,
Ain't no
I want
way
to
it's
thank
the
everyone.
last. Ain't no way it's the last.
Well, I have been Initiative. You can follow me at twitch.tv/initiative. There's no E on the end, or on Twitter at Initiative with two E's on the end. I know it's confusing. So
But you have a
blame
Twitter?
the
I didn't even
people.
know that.
Yeah, I've got Twitter.
Bruh.
Yeah, and on Discord, Initiative there as well. Because I'm actually Initiative. There's no numbers because of that update they
Oh,
did
did you
recently.
update the profile names? Nice.
Yeah, I'm actually Initiative with no numbers on the end. It is quite nice. So yeah, that has been me. Now over to you, me.
I mean, my Twitch channel is Jamaican Jazz, like the country with an N on the end, and then jazz. Um, my YouTube channel is a whole bunch of random letters and numbers, but it's Jamaican Jazz still as well. I'm trying to work on getting a custom URL for that, but that's going to be a long-term project. And then my Twitter, which I barely use at the moment because I am not social media savvy, is Jazz Jamaican. So I don't know.
Is it really Jazz Jamaican?
Yes, apparently, because I put in Jamaican Jazz, but they put jazz on the end of Jamaica, and then yeah, I'm confused.
Oh god.
So I don't understand how Twitter works. I'm trying my best, man. I'm trying my best to learn it, but it's just I'm too boomer for this. I need help. So yeah,
Fair.
occasionally I might post something like talking about something stupid that I probably did. Apart from that, I'm very boomer. But yeah, we also have a Discord channel for Collab, which is our group. I
Which will
don't
have a
know.
link in the description if you
Hopefully, I can
if
work out how to put a
you
link in the
interested.
description. Is there anything else?
No, I think I've also got a TikTok which is at Initiative.
Oh yeah, you have TikTok. Is it literally just initiative without the E?
Yeah, Initiative at E.
I have to remember to add that as well. Yeah, that is the
I,
Loot
I,
First, Ask
I can
Questions
just send
Later
you the
podcast.
URL.
Yeah, yeah. No, we'll sort it out. We'll sort it out. I gotta go design some stuff, some overlays and stuff and things, and set up some templates and stuff. But we'll do all right. Not too
Yeah,
crazy.
that's fun.
We gotta brainstorm some stuff for next time though, and hopefully like
We do.
the D&D sesh is popping off because
Hopefully.
that's gonna be
We
a
can
lot of fun. I enjoy that, and then I'm gonna be miserable doing raids. So
try and have fun with the raids.
I mean, I'm not gonna be miserable. I'm gonna have fun, but I'm gonna pretend I'm miserable just for the content. You know what I mean? Yeah, that is it. Um, 2 weeks from now, next podcast, hopefully,
Hopefully.
all things going well, and that's it. Catch you guys later, all right?
See you, everyone.
So you were gonna say see you why?